Okay, let's unpack this. You, like so many of us, are probably, incredibly curious about the cutting edge tech that's reshaping our world, especially that AI that generates human-like text. I mean, it's not just sci-fi anymore, right? It's baked into tools we use every day, brainstorming ideas, drafting emails, you name it. But how does it actually work? How does it do that? So today we're taking a bit of a shortcut to really understanding this powerful technology. Our mission for this deep dive getting into generative pre-trained transformers or, GPT. Now, you might know it from things like ChatGPT, obviously, but we're aiming to go beyond just the surface level here. We want to look at its foundations, how it learns, its vast capabilities, and maybe some of the big questions it raises for all of us. When you first see AI producing text that feels so human, it can be pretty astonishing. Can you maybe peel back the curtain a bit for us? Demystify how something purely algorithmic can pull that off.
Yeah, absolutely. So at its heart, we're talking about the generative pre-trained transformer GPT, and it really is a significant step forward in AI, particularly in what we call natural language processing. It was developed by OpenAI, and it's basically a large-scale language model. Its foundation, it's trained on just vast amounts of text data scraped from the internet. And the clever part is its function lies in this transformer-based architecture. That architecture lets it generate really coherent human-like text. How? By predicting the next word in a sequence based on the context it's already seen.
Okay, so that transformer-based architecture bit, if I'm getting this right, it's less like a traditional computer just following really strict, explicit rules, and maybe more like an incredibly huge, super smart autocomplete system, one that's basically read almost everything ever written online and can guess with amazing accuracy the most probable next word, which then somehow builds up into whole paragraphs or essays or even code. Is that sort of the right way to picture it?
That's a really good analogy, actually, yes. It's all about probability and patterns. But it's operating on a scale that allows for incredibly complex and, nuanced output. And that ability to learn patterns, that's what really sets it apart from uh, older AI approaches. You see, unlike traditional rule-based systems where you had to explicitly program every single command, GPT is trained using what we call unsupervised learning techniques on that massive data set we talked about.
Unsupervised, meaning.
Meaning it isn't explicitly told what to learn or given labeled examples for everything. It just figures it out. It learns language patterns, syntax, facts, even some abstract reasoning all by itself just by observing those patterns in the data it's fed.
Right. And when we think about how these models have evolved, the sheer scale of that learning capability is, well, it's kind of mind-boggling. Can you maybe walk us through just how much bigger these models have become and what that exponential increase in scale actually
Oh,
unlocks?
it's an incredible trajectory. So when GPT-3 came out in 2020, it had 175 billion parameters.
175 billion.
Exactly. And you can think of these parameters as like 175 billion tiny adjustable knobs or weights inside the model. They allow it to learn and form really complex connections between words and concepts. It's that sheer number of internal connections that gives it its vast knowledge base and adaptability.
Wow.
And then, yeah, GPT-4 and the models coming after it have pushed these limits even further. They're incorporating what we call multimodal capabilities.
Multimodal capabilities,
Like
Dave.
a
That sounds like a pretty big leap. What does that actually mean for the AI, for what it can understand and create?
It means the AI isn't just limited to text anymore. It can understand and generate more than just words. So imagine an AI that can look at an image, describe it, sure, but then also generate the next scene in a story based on that image.
Yeah.
Or maybe even create music that's inspired by a piece of text you give it. It's not just about handling different types of data like text, images, sound. It's about seamlessly sort of interconnecting them. And that opens up totally new creative and functional possibilities. It really blurs the lines between different media. Plus, they're also showing much more refined alignment with human intent.
Meaning they're getting better at figuring out what you actually want.
Exactly. They understand the nuances, the underlying goal, beyond just the literal words you type in. They're getting smarter about interpreting us.
So we've dug into the mechanics, the evolution, which is fascinating stuff. Now, you've painted this picture of how it works internally. How is this actually, translating into tangible changes in people's daily lives across different industries right now?
Oh, the impact is already broad and very tangible.
Yeah.
We're seeing it fundamentally change how industries operate. For example, it's automating customer service with chatbots that are way more sophisticated than before. It's supporting content creation, everything from marketing copy to creative writing assistance and assistant software development, generating code snippets, finding bugs. And it provides really effective conversational agents for things like education, tutoring, or just general productivity tools.
That's a powerful point. And what's so striking, building on that, is just how fast these capabilities went from like research papers to being inside the everyday tools people are actually interacting with.
Right. I mean, think about how many of us have used AI writing assistants already, maybe to help draft an email or brainstorm ideas for a presentation. Or for developers, tools like Copilot. It gives you code suggestions instantly. It's almost like having a super efficient coding partner right there. So yeah, this isn't just theoretical tech anymore. It's not something coming soon. It's fully integrated into tools you might be using right now for writing, coding, research. And it's really transforming workflows, making complex tasks maybe a bit more accessible for everyone.
But of course, this immense power brings with it a whole spectrum of pretty profound ethical and social questions, questions that we really have to think about carefully. Absolutely. That seems to be the case with every major technological leap, doesn't it? From the printing press to the internet, every powerful new tool brings these important considerations we need to grapple with. So, what are some of the most pressing concerns you see emerging with GPT?
Well, one of the big ones is bias in the training data. Because the AI learns from this massive snapshot of the internet, it inevitably picks up the biases present in that data. Sexism, racism, other societal biases.
And these aren't explicitly programmed in.
Exactly. That's what makes them tricky. They just emerge from the patterns in the messy, often biased, human-generated text it learns from, which makes these biases incredibly hard to fully detect and, truly unlearn or filter out.
Right.
And there's the whole issue of misinformation generation. The model's ability to create content that sounds highly convincing, very authoritative, but is actually completely false.
Yeah.
It's a huge challenge. We're also seeing questions pop up about dependency. Are we becoming too reliant on these AI tools? And of course, the really complex territory around human creativity and authorship. What does it mean when a machine can generate content that's potentially indistinguishable from human work? Where does the human role fit in?
And it feels like a really crucial distinction to keep hammering home here is that GPT, for all its brilliance, it's still fundamentally a sophisticated pattern matcher. It's not a conscious entity, right? It knows how words usually fit together, how arguments are often structured. It can even mimic human emotion in text, but it doesn't understand concepts or have experiences or consciousness in the way a human does. It's not sentient.
Precisely. That's absolutely key. Its outputs are based on statistical pattern recognition, not understanding or consciousness. And that's a fundamental limitation we just have to keep in mind whenever we talk about its capabilities and its outputs. So to sort of sum up, GPT really does exemplify the current frontier of generative AI. No question, it combines truly impressive language fluency with this incredible scalability. And that combination offers us powerful new tools for communication, for knowledge work, for creativity.
While also, as you said, challenging our assumptions about intelligence, about authorship, about the whole future of how humans and machines collaborate. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. If AI can generate content that is, for all practical purposes, indistinguishable from human work, what new opportunities does that create for us? How can we better define, refine, and really value our own unique human creativity? Our critical thinking, our emotional intelligence, how might this shift our understanding of collaboration? Not just collaborating with machines, but maybe even redefining what it means to be human in this increasingly AI-integrated world.